I have to free up space first. I have to delete some older recordings. And the thing is I keep wanting to take the meditations that I do on Saturday and just take the meditation part out of it, but I never get around to doing it because I always find so many other things to do, including writing another book or creating another course. And that does bring me to the announcement that I have to make. So there's a variety of reasons why people are on my feed. Some people, they stumbled across my feed because I did tarot cards. The reason why I did tarot cards was because it was a way for me to be able to give messages to people and also to provide trauma or nervous system support along with the cards, because that was really what I was, that and spirituality. And I did a lot of teaching over the years. I did a lot of, so some people came to me through astrology, because that's another thing that I do. Through Facebook, I had the Divine Feminine Healing Collective, and we used to meet for all the moon ceremonies, and I taught all about astrology. And I even created my own education program on astrology. Hi, Carol, one of my favorite students and also dearest friends. So you might have come in through that space as well. A lot of people came in through Trauma Talk, and they linked in with me through Sacred Journey. They followed me because of that, because I was helping you, or helping those individuals anyway, guide them through their trauma, through their mental health, on their awakening journey. And you can ask Carol. I love to give information. We had a wonderful session today in the Embodied Leadership Circle. It was about boundaries. Boundaries are extremely important for my mouse and tried to cancel the thing on my iPad. It don't work that way. Consuming substances featured in this live could harm your health. What was I talking about? I'm not consuming anything. Sourdough stuff. I have been consuming a lot of sourdough stuff. I don't think I was talking about anything. Yeah. It gave me a little thing saying consuming substances featured in this life could harm your health, but I don't think I was talking about any substances. Anyway, that one doesn't say it, so I don't understand. Anyway, so you might have followed me from that. You might have followed me from, maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was talking about, yeah. Maybe it was because I was talking about trauma and mental health stuff. Hi, Michelle. Maybe, right? And I would echo to always be cautious, right? If you are talking with somebody or you're following somebody online, be very careful about what they're telling you or what you're following of the instructions, if they're giving you instructions, right? You have to make sure that whatever you choose to do because it feels right. It feels aligned for you. Otherwise, don't listen to what someone else tells you to do. It needs to feel aligned with the truth in you. That's one of the most important things that you can actually work on, is your own discernment. So I have a couple of early announcements that I wanted to make, and TikTok is being weird. So the couple of announcements that I wanted to make is that, number one, the return to center. That's fun. Thank you, Carol. The return to center course that I created previously, I made it 10 days. And then I packed it full of bonuses. So you were getting about 20 different practices that would help you return to center, which is what I mean about returning to the present moment, returning to yourself. You gain more clarity, you're in the present moment. So there's a lot of benefits to it. It does help with your nervous system, all of that. So Carol's actually someone who got to experience the course when it was a full 10 days. And I think that the 10 days can be something that's valuable, but I also think it's something that people may find to be a bit too long. So what I've decided to do is redo the course and do the course as a 7-day program. And I'm going to run that 7-day program 4 times a year. And I'm going to run them at specific times. So I'm going to book them in my calendar. So they'll all be booked out. So you'll know you can get this one or the next one, but that's the only times that they're being offered. I'm also relaunching Bridge to Light Phase 1, and it's being rebranded as Return to Self, because that's really what it is. It's about the return back to yourself. Like, it's peeling back the layers of all of that trauma put upon you. And in those ways, we adopt all of these identities in order to either bring connection to us or push connection away from us, because it just depends on whether or not the connection feels safe or not, whether it aligns with our trauma. There's a variety of reasons why we do the things we do. And that's some of the stuff that I talk about. So we can talk about that at a different time. There's too much to cover in one live. There, I knew I was getting my tickle in my throat. So I'm somebody who loves to give you tons of information. I really do. And, maybe that's one of the things that I need to learn, is that there is such a thing as too much information, that it can be actually overwhelming. So, not to say that you're going to lose anything, because you're not. You definitely won't. What I decided to do, you end up getting the same stuff. So before, I used to do the class as 6 weeks, and it used to have 2 classes per week. So you would get 12 sessions. I decided this time to do it as 1 class per week, with every other week having a Saturday class. And the Saturday class is an integration class. It's not a redo of those 2 classes. However, if you were unable to attend either of those classes or both of them live, but watched the replay and had questions, you can show up at that Saturday live. The reason why I'm offering that is because I want to give more flexibility for people to be able to interact with, versus just adjusting information. And you can try as well as you can, but it's really hard to meet everybody's time. I've been lucky a few times where it's just aligned perfectly, and I can always hope that that happens every single time. But in the case that it doesn't, you have to have some flexibility. Not to mention, a significant part of whether or not you're successful in any course is whether or not you integrate it and what you do in a day-to-day way, on a day-to-day basis. There we go. I think I was trying to combo those 2 together. What do you think, Carol? Oh yeah, that's what I was getting to. So I'm going to run Return to Center as a 7-day program instead of 10, because I feel like 10 is just a bit too long. So I'm going to shorten it down to 7 days. You're still going to get the same amount of value in it. It's just that it's going to be a little more condensed. The Return to Self, you're getting the same, you're getting 12 sessions. It's just the way that the sessions are being managed is just slightly different. So you're still getting the same process, the same, the same outcomes are anticipated for everybody, as long as you apply yourself. And like I said, those 4 Saturdays are for questions for those who were unable to attend the lives, but were able to watch the watch the replay. And for those who are showing up for the integration session that is on that Saturday, because that's what the focus truly is about, is integrating what you learned in those 2 weeks prior to that session. So I'm really excited about that, to have it that way. Yeah. Do you have any questions? I'm really excited about it, actually. So I'm going to offer that one every September and October. So it's going to be 8 weeks from in September and October. And if you miss it this September and October, you can get it next September and October. That's just the way that one's going to be. You can get into the course as a standalone self, like pay for it and run through it yourself, but that's not the same. Not the same. Hi, Michael. I'm good. I'm talking about the 2 courses that I'm going to be running at the end of August and then September and October. Return to Center is a 7-day that I'm going to run probably the second last week of August. And then Return to Self is an 8-week course. And I'm going to run that 8-week course beginning on September 2nd. And as I said, and for 8 weeks. So you can really get to returning to yourself, like dealing with your trauma, the experiences that you've had, getting practices to use to be able to return yourself back to yourself and stay with yourself no matter what's going on around you, right? It's about, it's what we're learning to do is how to maintain our center and return, like figure out who we are underneath all of the stuff that happened to us. It's not that we are broken or damaged or anything like that. It's just learning who we are underneath what we became in order to adapt because of what we experienced. So if you experienced a situation where love was conditional, then you might be somebody who has to produce, go, do, be an achiever, get accolades, like those type of people. They oftentimes are children that came out of homes that where love was conditional, where it was a part of you had to show up in a certain way in order to feel safe. As an example. So we learn about those things and process through them, and learn techniques and and things like that to help support us as we're going, because it's not about delving into every single experience that you had. It's about understanding the core of the experience that you had, how that shapes you and how you work through that, and then having the toolkit necessary so that when you come up to an experience that's similar, you understand how to process through that in a way that keeps you aligned with yourself, in the most appropriate way for the situation that you're in. Yeah. All right. So those 2 courses are coming up. That's what I'm doing, Michael. Those 2 courses are coming up second last week of August for the 7-day course. So this is not a trauma program. The 7-day course, it gives you somatic practices. It gives you all these different exercises. Each one, each day is going to be anywhere, probably around 45 minutes if I shorten it to 7 days, for the amount that I want to teach. It just means longer days, right? So it might even be 7 days for 1 hour, and as opposed to 10 days in a row. Hi, Kendra. Hi, Wealthy. Yeah. So, oh, shoot, I forgot my comments. I forgot. No, I didn't. That's what I was doing. I was, oopsie. Back in there. I forgot my one live. I always started afterwards, but I forgot my